All right. So, Joaquin, so for listeners, when did we meet, Joaquin? 3 months ago? 6 months ago? 12?
I think 6 months ago. Yeah, I was in Switzerland at that time, no?
Yeah, six. And the context was, for you listeners, context was saw you're doing AI recruiters, and I reached out and I'm like, Joaquin, what the hell is going on with AI recruiters? What's real? What's not real? And I was pretty blown away. I was like, damn, all right, you're doing some really good stuff. You were in Switzerland at the time. And so with this conversation, literally, will be like a master class on like what is AI recruiters, why is AI impacting the workforce, how do you see it? And for you listeners out there, we went back and forth what like for the last month, Joaquin, because you've been so busy and just customer delivery. And so thank you for the time. I can confirm you have not been prepped by PR department. This is all off the cuff and real.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But
No, thanks for your time, Matthew. I'm so sorry that I postponed the call a lot of times. As I was telling you, we have been very busy with Talentum, but it's a nice program.
it is a good problem. So listen, let's start off. Give us that boring intro, routine, and then we're gonna kind of dive into like how in the world you even got to building an AI recruiter. But yeah, give us the full give our listeners context of the company, what you're doing, all that.
Perfect, perfect. So my name is Joaquin. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Argentina. It's where I'm living right now, actually. I've been living in Switzerland past year, but now I'm in Argentina, full with my team. Um, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Talentum. So how is our story and how a 20-year-old guy ended up in recruiting is a good question. We started Talentum almost 3 years ago, but we started it as a talent acquisition agency. We were the typical agency connecting jobs with candidates. Honestly, I didn't have any experience in recruiting. I was studying at college at the university here in Argentina. I am not from Buenos Aires. I am from the interior of the country, and I needed money to move into Buenos Aires. And a part-time job, I saw that it didn't it didn't gave me the money that I needed. So I needed to become an entrepreneur or living in my home with my parents, very far from Buenos Aires. And I saw, hey, we have like my like classmates are really good, but they are ended up um, working at corporations. So I started imagining to say, hey, what if there was a way to create an agency and connect candidates from universities with jobs as startups? And that's how Talentum started. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so you actually started. You were kind of like a talent marketplace, right? Like so, because
Yeah.
you started.
We were creating a marketplace actually. Yeah.
So interesting. And then, so why? So give us the from talent marketplace to today. Give us the 3 years. And so it's been 3 years, or how long has it been?
Yeah. I mean, we started the agency in November 2023
Yeah,
and we closed the agency and start building the AI recruiter in December 2024.
that's
So it's
okay.
like a year and 2 months.
So give me the 3 year like life of Joaquin for those 3 years. And then tell our listeners about Switzerland, because this is also where like you've done some incredible shit with some really cool organizations. And yeah, give us the lowdown on why when we talked last time you were in Switzerland.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So the story is I started alone. The business went great in the agency. I mean, we had more than 80 customers in 6 months, more than 100 placements that we made. But we found that when it was time to scale, the only way in which HR consulting firms scaled was by hiring more recruiters. And we didn't like that much because we always dreamed to create something global, scalable. So at that time, like ChatGPT and OpenAI were like just burning, at least in Latin America. And we saw that there was a big opportunity in implementing AI in the recruiting process because we saw that we were recruiting ourselves. So we saw that it was extremely inefficient sourcing candidates one-on-one, conducting the outreach, screening them, updating the ATS, which is the applicant tracking system, like the CRM of candidates. It was completely inefficient, and we always did the same thing. So we found that AI could help a lot in the process. And that's what we are solving today with Talentum AI Recruiter. And in terms of Switzerland, yeah, it is a great country. I mean, coming from Buenos Aires, Argentina, in which everything is a mess and a lot of poverty, and yeah, it's everything a mess in this country. Going to Switzerland, in which everything is okay, the streets are secure. Um, Everything works. The train stops at time. Yeah, it's crazy. And it was a great experience to also know the entrepreneurial ecosystem there. It is really big. It is not SF, but going to Berlin, to London, we saw that there is a big opportunity there too, I think.
Yeah, so let me summarize. So basically, all right, let's build up this HR consulting slash TA slash, talent marketplace. And then really quickly you realize, what was it, like 80 hires a month, that you were like, whoa, this is just so inefficient, so not sustainable, and just like so old, right? Like manual recruiters. Um, which what we've seen is, okay, you get to that inflection point and then you go, all right, do I create a brand new contract or do I automate the existing process, right? And from my understanding, you've automated the existing process. Now, can we talk about like when you were like AI, right? You were early, so I'm assuming you weren't just like going into Claude Code and being like, "Hey, Claude Code, I want to build this," right? Like, so, and I'm not gonna lie, man, that I get the fortune where I can do that. And I was like a past Microsoft PM, so I'm not a total idiot, but like I can be an idiot and still use Claude Code. So you had to actually, be creating the infrastructure, architecture, probably create the whole full stack, system. You didn't just have Claude use Supabase and Vercel to hack some, vibe code it up for you. But so when you say AI, how do you define it? And like, what has it really, really, really done for you early on and now?
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, as you say, there weren't anything like Cloud Code or uh, ChatGPT for coding. It was my CTO Yoni, which I love him, coding 24/7, 7 days a week. Yeah, it was a crazy ride. And we took pretty much, I mean, a lot of time to create a really solid product. It took us like 6 months to create a really, really solid product. Because today with an MVP, I think that with an MVP today, I mean, the expectation of the customer is 10x more today, because they compare you with Claude and ChatGPT and everything. So it's not what Paul Graham said or YC said 2 years ago, which is like, hey, create something in 2 days and start delivering it to our customers, because selling it is easy, but the the the, the, the the true part is the delivery, is the customer keep paying you and seeing the value. And in terms of what is AI for us is, I mean, if you set to think about the recruiting process right now, you have a lot of parts in which there are manual, uh, fully fully like execution things thought, and they don't need very much like thought process for that. Like sourcing candidates 101 is like, hey, you say to ChatGPT, hey, create me the Boolean search, and they paste it in LinkedIn Recruiter, and they see the candidates 101. They mentally compare with the JD, and based on that, they create an outreach 101. It doesn't require manual thinking. So if you set to use AI to automate that process and help the recruiter put in focus in tasks that they truly need to move the angle, um, that's the best part. I mean, interviewing the candidates, conducting a great candidate experience, making sure that that they are hiring truly the best one is the most important part. And AI helps you in automating that process and shortening the time.
So, I mean, I got millions of questions, but so do you see uh I'm trying to think of like similarities, right? Of like where you're seeing this work well. And so are you noticing that there's similarities in terms of does this work great for specific skill sets, specific job roles, specific job recs, specific industries? What are kind of some of the best success stories, use cases that you're kind of rallying around right?
Yeah, honestly, it depends a lot of on the feature that they are using in Talentum. I mean, because they are like different processes, you know. If you have like really operative like positions, massive positions, um, you don't source those candidates. You post the job in Indeed and the candidates apply. And then what you need is an AI screening, which Talentum has, an AI recruiter that screens the candidate. Don't interview them, but screen the candidates and qualify them. Because today, what a normal recruiter does is, hey, I post the job in Indeed and a lot of job portals. I get the resumes. I compare manually, one-on-one, compare the resume with the JD and conduct an SMS screening via text to see if the candidate is available to start in 2 weeks, to see where they live, if they are open to relocate. That is the part that AI can help a lot. So our customers, what they are using in that part is they use our AI recruiter to compare the resume with the JD and screen the candidates, so they focus only on qualified candidates.
Got
That's
so
like
it's
the
more of
first
that
part.
like agent experience of so that makes
Yeah,
total sense.
and
Within
in terms of
yeah,
no, and in terms of the other position, like professional positions, they use our AI recruiter to source the candidates. They like are we saw that there was only one like um big monopoly also in the US, which is LinkedIn. So they replace LinkedIn by using us, and they find a lot of more candidates with us. And they automate the complete process, not only the sourcing, the outreach, the screening, and the interview scheduling.
and that sourcing. So sourcing equals you are like, are you creating outbound campaigns? Are you going through LinkedIn and setting up job posts as well? Everything,
Everything,
everything. Okay.
everything.
How do you decide in your own head, like optimize versus disrupt? And what I mean by that is like, okay, when looking at the, let's say the screening, okay, optimizing what a perfect resume looks like versus disrupting and being like, hey, what if we don't even need a resume? What if we just decided to have 3 questions or AI interview? But like, how hard is it for you right now, like founder to founder, to really decide, all right, we're going to actually invest 1 month doing this versus being like, yeah, fuck it, let's just ship it quick on Claude, right? Because a lot of
Yeah,
us, that's the reality right now. You could do this.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
how are you determining what stuff is optimization versus disruption?
Yeah, I think it's important to divide it in two different steps. Like on one hand, you have like the vision, what you truly want to build and what you think the world should look like in this industry, let's say. And then you have to think about what's the inverse engineering that I have to do to create that vision. Because if I take like, I don't know, PwC, I don't know, uh, or Randstad, let's say, and I say, hey, replace completely the resumes that you are asking for and start doing these AI interviews, it will be very more difficult than saying, hey, let's keep the process as you have it right now. Insert AI into this part of the process. No change the process. The process is the same. AI takes what is manual and operative, and then we start scaling from that. So it's like step by step, we will get to the vision of, hey, the resume is not needed anymore. I know that this job is for you because I have this experience from you and you told me this information from you. This is a job that you are most like approachable to, let's say.
Yeah. How, funny question, McCain. How do we avoid a world of just AI slop? Because that kind of terrifies me, right? In terms of what if you have AI building the resume and then AI
Yeah.
filtering the resume? I mean, how do you think about this? And is it one of those where it's like, you know what? fuck it, don't even think about it. It's just gonna happen. Like, how do you think about this?
No, I mean, yeah, I think it's really important to have this, and I think that point that you brought answered the question on why we still need human recruiters. Because the resume doesn't tell you who fits, actually. It tells you who doesn't fit.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me more
And
about this, like the science, like the brain behind
yeah,
you,
yeah,
your
yeah.
co-founders, like, because that's I didn't know that.
Yeah, so at the end, the person who fits needs to be known by the recruiter, because I think that the soft skills, the culture is more important than the hard skills. You can learn the hard skills, but the personality of each person is pretty difficult, also impossible to change. And at the end, the person that validates that is the human recruiter. What AI helps you is, hey, I need at least 10 years of experience working at sales. If the resume tells you, hey, this candidate has 3 years of experience, or he or she doesn't have experience working at sales, you know that this candidate is not right for this position. That is the part where AI helps you the most. Not invalidating the soft skills, not invalidating the culture. We tried to do that and it was awful. So we say, hey, automate everything that happened below the actual interview of the candidate and start putting your focus in actually interviewing them.
Gotcha. And I
Yeah.
wonder, I mean, let me know if I'm wrong about this. I assume one of the beauties of AI is I always compare like compute power versus brain power. And like, even if my brain is smarter than that compute, well, if that compute can do the same thing over and over for 5 hours, like my brain maxes out at like 30 seconds, right? So when I look at that your example of like 10 plus years experience, it's not only that the AI can go and see like yes, no, but also it probably is searching multiple different channels, right? So it's like, okay, we
Yeah.
looked at this LinkedIn, we looked at this, and there's going to be a lot of verification coming up. We speak with a lot of like verification related providers. And it's like, well, how do we start to verify stuff in this digital age? Crazy world. But is that true that like your AI is more than just, oh, I looked at the resume and like, yep, we filtered 10 plus different factors.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, what AI can helps a lot too, and in Talentum, our customers are really happy with this, is it doesn't look for only keywords. It also understands the context. So let's say you are looking for a person that led teams of at least 10 people. The tools that you have right now, like LinkedIn, let's say, search only via keywords. The candidate has to say like lead or leadership or led or everything related to that. Talentum understands the context, understand that if a person was a manager of 10K plus employees company, our AI understand that, hey, maybe this person led teams of at least 10 people, And
Gotcha.
so, yeah,
Gotcha. Um, so very boring question. You ready? Let's try to back into the ROI. So help me understand. One of the things I'm thinking about is like, okay, if I have 100-person TA team right now, is this just adding cost for all these TA people? Is this increasing time to make the hire? Is this increasing accuracy? Am I taking this 100-person TA team, turning it into 5 TA professionals? How help me? What's it like when you're talking ROI with your customers?
yeah. One of our main differences between Talentum and the other competitors is that we put a lot of focus not only in enterprise teams, but in HR consulting firms like TA agencies. So the ROI is more revenue. Is totally linked with more revenue, because if as we have been a TA firm, a consulting firm, we know that the most important thing for them is quality and velocity.
Yes. Okay.
If I can provide better quality of talent at 10x speed, they can close 50% more deals than they are closing right now.
And this is what I love. I mean, so one of my trying to describe like, okay, where's work and talent, whatever, where's it all going? One of the words that I always use is like specialized. And if we look at technology, I mean, hell man, like 20, I don't know, around like early 2000s, even early 2010s. Do you remember the term is like decentralization of the crowds or like democratization of the crowds? But the whole principle was like, okay, technology is going to enable, thousands of micro crowds that you can sell to rather than selling bland shit for one crowd. And what I love is when hearing you, that point right there, it's like if you are a, let's say, industrial manufacturing company, from what I'm hearing, I don't want to speak for you, but like probably not the best fit. If you are a HR consultancy, HR transformation, HR, you guys are awesome. You got
Yeah,
some specialization. Like that's phenomenal that you're not saying, oh yeah, we do everything for everyone.
it's more it's totally linked with more revenue, and we saw not only with our customers but with ourselves. The first version of AI recruiters, Talentum's AI recruiter, was for ourselves. We didn't want to build an AI recruiter to sell it, but we saw, hey, we built this that automate the sourcing, the outreach, the screen, and the interview schedule, and our placements got 50% faster. And so
Interesting.
what's going on here? We need to show this to the other consulting firms so they start using it. And um, that's how we've been there. So yeah, definitely.
What's the model? Is it pay per placement then, or is it a flat SaaS, or both, or
Right now it's a flat. It's a flat pricing, like a typical SaaS based
yeah?
on the amount of users they have. Um, but I think the future is going to paper placement or paper interview scale. Yeah, we are going into that agentic future.
So let's like stay on that thread. Did you see A16Z's post yesterday about like the headless software?
I didn't.
So easy concept, which you probably get, Joaquin, but for the audience, so for listeners out there, I mean, if we think about traditional SaaS, it was, hey, come into our UI UX, and we're, building all around as little clicks as possible, as much stickiness and retention as possible. But the assumption is that you're going to come to our SaaS, our app. And so you see hundreds of different apps in the App Store and yada yada. What Claude and these various LLMs do is they might become the head of everything. And so I no longer go into HubSpot and other tools and Posthog, but I expect that Claude is connecting with Posthog and Poobler for social and that kind of stuff. So exactly what you were mentioning, keep going down this agentic path, but A16Z came out a post yesterday about like headless, right? And then the implication there is if you are headless, what are you, right? And implication is, well, it's the data infrastructure and the experience that still matters, but at a much different level. And so, how do you think about agentic when you look at Talentum? Like, do you assume that people are going to come to your site? Like, what? How are you thinking about the way the world will look in 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. I think that's great because that, but I mean, I totally agree with that future. The IT team won't put much more focus on making the best UI and interfaces. I want the entire company to put focus in the North Star metric, which is, hey, let's make our customers make more money with us. And we will like build everything, and we are building everything thinking of that ROI. Not providing, not, I mean, not only providing the best candidate and recruiter experience into the platform and making everything like good looking, but also at the end, the most important like metric is, hey, I am earning, hey, by using Talentum, am I earning more money or this is a cost for me? I mean, what's the actual ROI of this? I think with that thought, we will be the next unicorn.
Yeah. Now that hits to the core, and it's hard, man. It's hard to just have a North Star and stick with it and not get too distracted. Whether like you're an executive or an entrepreneur, it's just so hard. Um, kind of last question for you, man, is when you look at, well, actually, two questions. The first is everyone listening to this, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to literally upload a CSV of open recs into your platform? Do you want them to just set up a demo call, have a, conversation with someone on your team or you? So that's probably the most important question. Actually, we'll lead with that one. What do you want our listeners to do right now? And
Let's
be
set up a
selfish.
demo.
Sell.
Let's set up a demo. I will leave you with my own Calendly. So you can set up a call with me and I show you the platform, everyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do that. Also, our biggest market is in the US right now. I mean, our customers are in the US. We are building from Latam, but in the US and Europe too. So yeah, happy to scale the call and show you the product
Is the talent, Joaquin, is the talent Latam based? Where's the talent mostly coming from?
everywhere,
Yeah, it is.
everywhere.
It's fully global. Are you noticing any trends? Like, are you seeing like growth in certain areas, decline in certain areas?
We have customers that are looking for a lot of candidates in the like Philippines, Portugal, like crazy countries, you know? I mean, obviously in the US too, but we have a lot of customers from LATAM looking, I mean, which are like HR consulting firms from LATAM looking for candidates in Europe, in Asia, in Oceania, and everywhere in the world. So yeah, I mean, I think that after the pandemic and everything, uh, we have a more like globalized world. So I think that's right because you can enter into a vast talent pool, uh, bigger than looking for your own only in your country or in your city.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I always think about like I'm always very honest with executives about this like global remote, and I'm like, hey, I actually would love nothing more than to have an office in the town that I want to live, and everyone's in the office, and we don't have to worry about did we document this? Everyone's just there from 9 to 5. I'm not gonna lie, from an executive shoes, sounds kind of nice. Now, the implications of that is you're only going to be stuck with people that live within 45 minutes of where your office is. You're probably going to be priced out or priced too little. So it's just not it's not realistic anymore.
Yeah,
Right? It's just not realistic. So
yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the company size, you know, because I am not I am not walking my talk. Uh, Talentum we work in person actually.
yeesh,
Yeah,
that's
in
another
Talentum,
thing.
in Talentum we work in person every day in Buenos Aires here. But it is because we are a team of 8 people, just grinding and everyone doing everything. I know that when we will be like a 20 people team, we will start looking for more remote positions because we see now that we are hiring right now and we see that the candidates that live near here and also want to work in person every day are not so many.
Yep. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. But listen, Joaquin, so for listeners out there, you're literally you committed this, okay? Your Calendly link will be on your profile and it'll be in this episode. So everyone go book demos with him ASAP. And then Joaquin, first of many. And what I love is the focus on the HR firm, right? Like it's very, very clear. So if you're an HR firm, you better reach out to Talentum right now. So, Joaquin, thank you for hopping on. I know you're about to go service a bunch of customer stuff, and so thanks for carving time out. I know how freaking busy you are, but thank you, my friend, for hopping on.
Thanks to you, Matthew.